Well, the New South Wales Government is finalising new plans for stricter pollution and noise rules on the rail freight sector, a move which has come under fire from agricultural leaders and members of the government. Farmers warn that the new rules will hurt the state's grain industry, lead to a rise in grocery prices and will likely see 25,000 B-double trucks forced onto roads to compensate. New South Wales Deputy Premier John Barilaro joins me now from our Sydney studios. Well, I tell you what, we're all talking about lower emissions. I would have thought it was a no-brainer, John, that we get everything we possibly can from regional Australia onto the rail line, onto trains to move our freight around. And the last thing we'd want is more trucks and B-doubles at that on the highways that we've got, pedestrian cars and families travelling in all the time. How do we get this so wrong? And it's your government.
Peter, some days I wake up and I get surprised about what exactly happens within the depths of the bureaucracy of government, and we're meant to be in charge, but yet sometimes these things surprise us. This is at a time where, of course, the federal government is building the Inland Rail, an $11 billion investment, and it'll be a new spine of moving freight through the regions of New South Wales. It gives us an opportunity, places like Parks, where we're invested in a special activation precinct, a new logistics hub to connect into, of course, Inland Rail. And then on the other hand, we've got parts of government that are doing everything to move freight off rail. And the truth here is that at the end of the day, again, it's the EPA. Again, they're running the policy of the government. They're taking on what is, again, another attack on the regions. And here's the real question. By moving all this freight to roads, 25,000 extra B-doubles, how many movements does that equal? The impact that has on our roads, our infrastructure, and on emissions. I think that's actually a step backwards when it comes to emissions. Yeah, well,
but my back-of-envelope calculation would be, in terms of the road damage, particularly of a B-double, if you've ever had an ungraded road going in and out of your farm, you can see what a B-double loaded up with livestock does to it. So, put that out there on asphalted roads and in and around suburban areas. We don't have a lot of those truck hubs that we should in and out of our regional areas, so there's wear and tear down main roads. What I don't understand, and I love that you're always open in that this is a stuff up and it really shouldn't happen and I might be part of the government, but I disagree with it. That is refreshing, John Barilaro. But what's the status of these proposed changes? Are they regulatory changes? Are they coming out of the EPA and no one in government, no ministers allowed to change them? Are they likely to proceed? Where are they at?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, these are, I think, a lot of policy ideas that sit in the bottom drawer of some bureaucrat's office. Sometimes when you get a change of ministries, and we had a new government elected last year and new cabinet ministers, what has always happened, they bring out the garbage that sits in the bottom drawer that every other previous minister has rejected, and they try it on. And here we have it again. They're trying it on. Now, I'll give respect to Minister Kean that he's maybe not fully aware of what the impacts are, but the reality is he must be aware of what the EPA is saying. And this is, again, something that I don't agree with, and we can't agree with it because this is an attack on the regions. And I've said it previously before, and I'll say it again, I'm sick to death of being lectured by ideologues in Sydney or metropolitan cities about what is best for regional rural New South Wales. This is, again, an attack on not just our communities but industry, the future and prosperity of regional rural New South Wales. My belief is this is something that's been flagged. I can tell you this, as the National Party leader in New South Wales, I have complete support from my members. More importantly, from industry, we will not let this go through, regardless that they're talking about a 10-year transition plan, regardless that they're saying they're still consulting. But when you read the information coming out of the EPA, it seems like a done deal. Well, now it's up to the minister to stop it, and of course the government to stop it, and I'll be at that point.
Yeah, and you're not by yourself. New South Wales farmers are with you, Grain Corp, Manildra, Pacific National, 7 other bodies, it says in my notes here. Does this go to Cabinet? Can your minister, can Matt Kean, the Environment Minister, intervene in any way? Or is this like the Planning Authority in New South Wales, basically unelected dictates that ministers who are elected by the people have no way of changing? What's your influence?
Well, look, my view is this is passed through levels of government. This is probably something that's been sitting on the shelf for a couple of years, and it's just now been brought forward. Of course, the government has the ability to stop it. Of course, Minister Kean has the ability to stop it.
Does Kean have the backbone? Does Kean have the backbone?
I don't know. I wrote to Minister Kean today, and I would believe that he'd understand the argument and in real terms the negative impact on emissions. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that, I'll wait for him to respond. But in the meantime, I'm making sure this is public, because often this stuff is negotiated or talked about behind the closed doors of the bureaucracy. And that's why, for me, it was important to get on the front foot and make this a public debate and a public issue. Sometimes we've got to force the hand of government, we've got to force the hand of ministers, and, like the IPC, we've made now significant changes to the IPC because of the vocal debate, the Minerals Council, many proponents. I believe the outcomes of the IPC, and congratulations to Minister Stokes on that, because the IPC reform, I genuinely believe, is exactly what industry's been calling for and will get the result. That's why this issue needs to be raised publicly, because this is not just my fight, it is one for the industry, more importantly for the future of regional rural New South Wales, especially when it comes to agriculture and movement of our goods and services, especially at a time when export markets are getting tougher to get into. We've got to remain competitive. Free trade agreements mean we've got to be efficient. Rail is the best way to move.
And no one wants these trucks. No one wants any more trucks on the road. I would hope you'll get a call from the Greens as you get off this program right now, and they'll say, terrific, John, we couldn't agree with you more. Lower emissions,
Fingers
put it on
crossed.
yeah, we'll see, won't we? John Barilaro, good luck. Good luck with Matt Kean. I'll follow it closely.